woman. Now that my love is overdue, I gave her back the key to her front door. Moving on. If you wanna be my number one, if you wanna be master, I'm the shepherd of my pastor.
A deep look at the tumultuous life of the cool ruler, Gregory Isaacs. And will the real Mrs. Isaacs please stand up, expressing our condolences to the family and friends of Gregory Isaacs.
So when the day when he died, and I heard on the radio, he died leaving a wife in the UK at his home, I was shocked. I was here recall, I sunk in his chest and Jesus, what is this now? And then media houses start calling me. I started to avoid them because I say, I don't know, what is this? Anyway, when I started speaking to them now, and they asked me from the voice, no. At that time, Linda had told the media houses them that she was married to Gregory. There was no such thing. He was never married. There was no marriage, no wedding, nothing like that.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to bridge the ghetto's harsh realities with the smooth dreamscapes of romantic crooners? The pioneers who did it built empires through sheer determination against steep odds, leaving legacies that are complex and flawed, marked by international acclaim and private battles fought in the dark. It's within this beautiful chaos that the story of legendary singer Gregory Isaacs unfolds. The dense, humid air of Fletcher's Land in Kingston, Jamaica during the mid-20th century carried the heavy weight of struggle, but it also vibrated with an undeniable creative energy. It was within this crowded urban landscape that Gregory Anthony Isaacs was born on July 15, 1951. Raised primarily by his mother and surrounded by his brother Sylvester, the future icon's early years were shaped by severe economic hardship. The family navigated daily life under the heavy pressure of poverty in an environment where resources were scarce and survival was a daily negotiation.
Gregory, those young days in Fletcher's Land, what can you remember growing up as a youth?
From early childhood, listening to music. Yeah, man, like Slim Smith, Wheeler, John Wall, Halton, Babandia.
The young boy's surroundings were defined by concrete, dust, and the constant hum of a community trying to find its footing in a rapidly changing world. Opportunities for young boys in Fletcher's Land were hard to come by, and many were swept up in the turbulent political and social shifts of the era. Yet, Gregory possessed an internal anchor, an early, consuming fascination with the power of sound. The young boy found solace in the rich sonic landscape that drifted through the streets. During his childhood, the local airwaves and sound systems were heavily dominated by the energetic tempos of ska and the smooth, romantic rhythms of rocksteady. These genres were the heartbeat of the working class, blasting from massive, homemade speaker boxes at neighborhood block parties. Gregory, however, found himself captivated by a different kind of magic alongside these local rhythms. He spent hours absorbing the soulful, emotional expressions of legendary American blues vocalists, jazz masters, and classic balladeers.
Sam was one of my favorites. I listen to music on a worldwide basis too, all kind of music, as music.
He found himself drawn to the deep, expressive storytelling of foreign radio broadcasts, discovering a universal language of longing and heartbreak. This eclectic mix of international rhythm and blues, combined with the raw, uncompromising realities of his Kingston upbringing, quietly laid the foundation for a vocal style that would eventually revolutionize Jamaican music. It was a style built not on vocal acrobatics, but on an effortless, conversation-like delivery that made every listener feel as though he were singing directly to them. By the late 1960s, the musical landscape of Jamaica was shifting once again, transitioning from the sweet harmonies of rocksteady to the faster, more socially conscious beat of early reggae. The island was yearning for a fresh direction and a voice that could bridge the gap between sweet romance and the gritty, political realities of ghetto life. Gregory was determined to be that voice. In 1968, he made his first serious foray into the recording industry, pairing up with singer Winston Sinclair for a duet titled Another Heartache. The track was recorded during a time when the industry was notoriously cutthroat, with young artists frequently exploited by powerful producers who controlled the recording studios and distribution networks. Though the record failed to make a major splash, it ignited an unquenchable fire within Gregory. He quickly joined the vocal trio called the Concords, recording for influential producers like Rupie Edwards and Prince Buster. When the group dissolved after a short run, he refused to let the setback quiet his ambition, choosing instead to forge ahead as a solo artist, navigating the treacherous waters of the Kingston music industry entirely on his own. Success did not arrive overnight. The early 1970s was a highly competitive era, filled with immensely talented artists all vying for a spot on the popular stage shows of the day, where a single bad performance could ruin a rising singer's reputation.
You came up through the era where there was a lot of young stage shows. Can you remember some of the, you had Veer John, people like Veer John.
Yeah, from Parent want some opportunity to show them Queen's Theatre and those things.
These is where you sort of honed your skills, so to say.
No, from early childhood, my bird is side good still, right? Put in consideration differently, but listening to music, yeah? We wanted the music and all them things, listen to a certain tune. You know that one.
Gregory worked tirelessly, performing wherever he could, gradually building his confidence and refining his signature delivery, a relaxed, effortless drawl that felt both deeply intimate and incredibly cool. He began to stand out from his peers, who often relied on high-energy showmanship. Gregory's power lay in his stillness and his control. In 1973, he took a highly unusual and remarkably bold step for a young artist of his era. He co-founded his own record label in shock, African Museum, alongside singer Errol Dunkley.
It wasn't till probably you set up your own African Museum label.
African Museum very early, yes, sir?
Early 70s.
Yes, in the sense, from step by step. Yeah, I don't let him live him silver, you know? You don't want to introduce him to me to yeah, man, sing, you can't sing.
This move toward financial and creative independence was incredibly rare at the time, as most artists were completely dependent on established producers who pocketed the majority of the royalties. By establishing African Museum, Gregory took control of his destiny, allowing him to produce and release his own work without artistic compromise. The venture was a massive gamble, but it paid off almost immediately with the release of the self-produced breakthrough single My Only Lover.
Only looking at the cover.
The impact of My Only Lover was massive and far-reaching. It established Gregory as a premier crooner and birthed the very concept of lovers rock, a subgenre of reggae that prioritized smooth, romantic themes, lush arrangements, and gentle tempos over heavy political messaging. This sound resonated deeply with audiences, particularly in the United Kingdom, where young Caribbean immigrants embraced it as the soundtrack to their lives. Shortly after, his landmark album, Mr. Isaacs, hit the streets, solidifying his status as a master of the craft. Throughout this rise to prominence, he shared a deep brotherly bond with fellow reggae legend Dennis Brown. The two young men grew up together in the competitive environment of the Kingston music scene, maintaining a close, healthy friendship while pushing each other to achieve greater creative heights.
One of your best albums. I know you was very close to Dennis.
Yeah.
You and Dennis was very good friends. You and Dennis growing up, there wasn't much difference.
Yeah, we're close friends. Differently, I believe in Pleasureland and live in Western Kingdom. That's where we started in our garden. Yeah.
The relationship was built on mutual respect. They were artistic rivals on the charts, but brothers in life, often sharing musicians, production ideas, and support during difficult times. What made Gregory truly extraordinary, however, was his immense versatility. While many artists restricted themselves to either sweet love songs or conscious roots reggae, Gregory effortlessly walked both paths, refusing to be boxed into a single category. He recognized that the human experience required both relaxing, comforting music to soothe the mind and stark, reality-based songs to reflect the political and economic struggles of the era. He could transition seamlessly from a tender ballad to a searing critique of systemic oppression. This duality defined his prolific career, during which he released hundreds of albums and countless singles. Despite the sheer volume of his output, certain timeless tracks like Number One and My Only Lover held a deeply personal place in his heart, representing the pure, uncompromised essence of his early musical vision.
Last time I count down to 60
albums, okay, and countless singles. Would there be a favourite Gregory Isaacs single? I know you've done so many. Anytime you sing it, songs like Number One and songs like that, are they really special songs to you?
Yeah, like My Only Lover and Front Door.
His ability to connect with both the romantic and the revolutionary aspects of his audience made him an irreplaceable figure in the culture. By the late 1970s, Gregory was a certified superstar, not just in the Caribbean, but also among the rapidly growing global diaspora. His exceptional work, including the critically acclaimed albums Universal Tribulation and Soon Forward, caught the attention of major international labels looking to capitalize capitalize on the global explosion of reggae. He secured a highly coveted deal with Virgin Records, a partnership that opened doors to broader global markets. This deal allowed his mesmerizing performances to reach audiences across Europe and deep into the United States. He toured extensively, developing a profound appreciation for the diverse audiences he encountered across different territories, traveling through vast portions of the American landscape to share his music with fans who had previously only known him through imported vinyl records.
You know, most artists always say that you crack the US market, you're home and dry. Any great memories of America?
Yeah, man, some sweet shows in America, man. All over different.
Do you think you've toured was it 52 states in America? Have you done a good portion of them?
I done a good portion. I know the far to one time.
He was no longer just a local hero. He was an international ambassador of Jamaican culture, respected for both his business acumen and his undeniable artistic genius. Yet, as the 1980s dawned, a dark shadow began to eclipse his monumental success. The international music industry of the era was awash with hard drugs, and Gregory became heavily ensnared in a destructive addiction to cocaine. What began as a recreational habit quickly transformed into a physical and psychological dependency that gradually eroded his physical health, his legendary voice, and his personal freedom. The drug use led to extreme instability in his personal and professional life. His finances began to suffer, and he became increasingly unreliable, missing recording sessions and scheduled performances. The addiction also brought him into constant conflict with the law. His legal struggles culminated in a highly publicized 1982 arrest in Kingston, where police discovered unlicensed firearms at his residence. This arrest resulted in a 6-month prison sentence at Kingston's General Penitentiary, a period of forced isolation that many assumed would end his career. Rather than destroying his career, however, the prison sentence only added to the mystique of the cool ruler. He became a symbol of the outlaw survivor, a man who could not be broken by the system. Upon his release, he channeled his experiences into his work, unleashing what will become his magnum opus, Night Nurse. Recorded at Nassau's Compass Point Studios, the album was a masterpiece of sleek, modern reggae production. The title track, with its infectious, hypnotic bass line and seductive lyrics, became an international anthem, charting high in the UK and cementing his status as a global icon. Yet, the irony of the song was bitter and profound. While millions danced to his plea for a nurse to soothe his midnight fever, the singer was actively losing his life to the very demons he sang about, using the music as a desperate shield against his worsening addiction. The addiction took a devastating toll that lasted for decades. Over the course of his life, Gregory was arrested over 50 times globally, with his legal battles spanning multiple continents. His marriage to his wife, June, was pushed to its absolute limits by the chaos of his lifestyle. June was not just his partner. She was a stabilizing force who fought tirelessly to protect him from his worst impulses and keep his business affairs intact. Despite the severe strain on their relationship, she remained a central figure in managing his musical legacy and the African Museum label, ensuring that his creative output was not entirely lost to the chaos of his personal life.
Everything me know I Gregory teach. Everything. I couldn't cook, I couldn't do nothing. I grew up closing my knife and fork and get up, help out do all of that. When I met Gregory, I couldn't do nothing. He taught me, yes, him teach me every jack thing. If you put me on a bike, I can ride it. And if you put me on a tractor, I'll probably drive. He teach me everything, good and bad. I wouldn't say I have a lot of regrets, but my journey was good. It was bumpy. It was good. I laugh about it now because I'm okay.
But the physical damage of his lifestyle was becoming impossible to hide. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, the prolonged drug abuse had severely damaged his teeth, causing many of them to fall out. This physical degradation fundamentally altered his iconic singing voice, transforming his smooth, effortless purr into a raspy, nasal drawl. Despite these severe physical struggles and the loss of the vocal purity that had made him famous, Gregory's passion for the music never wavered. He refused to retire, showing an incredible, stubborn resilience. He adjusted his vocal style to fit his changing physical instrument, embracing the cracks and roughness in his voice to deliver performances that carried a new, weathered emotional weight. He continued to tour the world, stepping onto stages in front of loyal fans who looked past his physical frailty to pay tribute to the legend he represented. He also continued to record, utilizing various studios, including his personal ventures and independent setups like the Poor People Studio, which allowed him to remain connected to the grassroots communities that had first embraced him. Music was his therapy, his identity, and his only true escape from the pain of his physical decline. By 2010, the relentless lifestyle, decades of substance abuse, and a quiet but aggressive battle with lung cancer had finally exhausted his legendary stamina. He spent his final months in London, receiving medical treatment while surrounded by loved ones. On October 25, 2010, Gregory Isaacs passed away at his home in London at the age of 59. His passing sent shockwaves through the global music community, triggering a massive outpouring of grief from fans, fellow musicians, and political leaders. He was honored with an official state funeral in Jamaica, a testament to his massive contribution to the cultural identity of his homeland. The boy from Fletcher's Land, who had started with nothing, was laid to rest as a national hero, leaving behind a massive, unparalleled catalog of timeless art that ensured his immortality. In the years following his death, the true scale of his impact has only become clearer. Gregory Isaacs did not just participate in the golden age of reggae, he helped define its aesthetic, proving that independent ownership and artistic compromise did not have to be mutually exclusive. His influence can be heard in generations of vocalists across reggae, R&B, and hip-hop, who emulate his relaxed conversational delivery and his ability to convey deep emotion with minimal effort. The African Museum label continues to operate, serving as a monument to his pioneering business spirit and a guardian of his extensive catalog, which remains highly sought after by collectors and music lovers worldwide. As of 2026, the financial legacy of the Cool Ruler remains a subject of immense interest and careful stewardship. His vast estate, ongoing royalties from hundreds of classic tracks, and the enduring global value of the African Museum catalog place his posthumous net worth at an estimated 15 million euros. This legacy is managed in large part by his family, who work diligently to preserve his rights, re-release classic albums, and ensure that his revolutionary sound continues to inspire future generations of artists and fans who refuse to let the memory of the Cool Ruler fade into the past. If his story hits you the way it hit us, smash that like button, subscribe for more untold journeys through the lives of people you thought you already knew, and drop a comment telling us which part of Gregory Isaacs' story surprised you the most.